Okay, everybody, we are live. I'm going to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. Somebody pop a yes in the chat box for me. I'm already answering a couple things in there. So today's training is going to be going over how to read matrices to get your custom pricing for every customer. So this is really cool. This is pretty much it's my favorite. This is my favorite right here because it allows us to do a little bit of research, investigative work on finding the right supplier for a customer, the right terms for you, right? The right payment schedule and things like that. So we're going to get into this. This will pretty much take mostly an hour. It could probably take longer, but I'm just going to get through the basics on it, and then you guys can play with the system. Every single one of you should have your own Navigate Power email, okay? In that Navigate Power email, you should be getting a whole bunch of matrices every day. You can see everything came in today, okay? Started at 7:53, and at 11 o'clock, we got our last one in, which was Constellation. So this is all done through Kate. We talked to her earlier, if you remember, onboarding at Navigate Power. If you're not getting these emails to your Navigate Power email, then you have to request that you're in Ohio and you would like to get put into the group that gets Ohio pricing, okay? If you're in Illinois, if you're in PA, whatever, there's certain groups that get, overlap and things like that, but that's how this works. Every now and then you're going to hear the microphone I'm talking on go blank for a second. I'm probably coughing, so I do have a cough, and I've been, nursing that right now. So I won't lose it. I'll be back on. If it goes for 2 minutes and something went wrong, okay? Just to let you guys know. But so let's get into some business here. What are we doing? We learned how to read bills in the last training. Well, we did that only because you need to know what the pricing is that you're competing against. Remember, you need to know the current contract's end date, and of course, there's the other quick things. It's the name of the decision maker who's signing. It's their email and their phone number, right? And we're pretty much good to go. So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I send an email out to you guys through Constant Contact that gives you the best prices. They are the best prices, but certain territories, somebody else might be better. So like I know my buddy Joe and Shelly, they're way down in Southern Ohio, right? Cincinnati and Portsmouth, and that's Duke and AEP. So down there, that market might have a better price than the AEP price that's in Columbus, right? So you need to research that, and that's what today is going to be. What I'm going to teach you guys is filtering. Because the energy industry is so vast, I mean, you got to remember, guys, these suppliers are servicing almost 80% of the population, okay? And, if you put California's natural gas in, Texas's electricity, and the entire East Coast, that's the most population there is in America, okay? And to be quite frank, nothing has a standard. Everybody has their own system to protect their pricing, to protect their coding. Like if you go back to yesterday's matrices for companies like NG or some of the really bigger ones, those are gone. Those will be dead. Those matrices will be dead. You can't open them up. You can't look at pricing on some of them because they want to protect their own pricing, right? So we are a registered energy broker with these suppliers. Brian has gone out of his way to sign contracts with all these guys. We have almost all of them. There are some that we love. There are some that we love and we want to hug. There's some that we don't like, okay? Because they maybe are competing with us in our own state and things like that. We have that here. We will not work with suppliers that do not honor our contracts. And what that means is we do not allow our suppliers to send their people in to call on our customers, ever. That is a big no-no between Brian and the suppliers, okay? If that happens, it's only going to happen a couple times, and then we don't use them anymore because we own the rights to our customers, meaning us personally. We have non-exclusive contracts with the company, and these are our friends. These are some books of business that it took us years to build, right? So I just want to let you guys know that. If you're working with, Santana Energy on gas, you'll never have a Santana person go in there, okay? Same with Direct Energy, some of the big ones. Direct Energy, Freepoint, NG, we write most of our business with because they got the best prices. NG, not so much lately. We have a new player in the game, APG&E, and it's not just because they're new. It's because one of the reps from another company that we know really well went there and took over their commercial division, and we've been writing a lot of contracts with her lately because of her pricing. It's really been pretty good. So that's kind of the overview of how we get this stuff and where it comes from. And we're going to do Q&A at the end, guys. So if you have something, hold it till then. You know, and if you miss something, if you're trying to take notes, I'd suggest not to take notes right now. Just watch what's going on, and you'll have the recording. All the recordings did come through so far that I already did earlier. I'll get the recording with Chris's overview too from them because that was on their side of the fence. And then you can take your time. You know, you can look at stuff. I like to listen, you know, put my videos in a small window when I'm training or learning something, and then I like to go do the activity myself. So hang on there 1 second. So let's start getting into this, all right? I'm not going to bring up any bills yet. Oh, yes, let me just do that. Let's say, let me do something here. Let me bring up one of the ones we had earlier from the middle of the state of Ohio, AEP. This obviously, remember what we talked about before. We're identifying how many kilowatts, okay? We're identifying what is their tariff or medium general service code, and where is their service delivery identifier. This allows us to price. We cannot price any of these bills if you send them to us, or if we're helping you train, if we don't know the end date of the current contract. Because if the end date is on March of 2021, we're going to start it on the end of March 2021 forward, okay? Or if it's at the end of March 2021, we're going to start it in April of 2021. So I just want to let you guys know that. We've got to have that date or we cannot get pricing. So let's work with this one. Let's say this one here came out of contract. Let's say the start date is right now. It's a live customer. Let's say the company Capital Energy, the end of their contract was 4/1, okay? That would be April 1st, 2020. That's what we're going to do to find the price to compete with this. See, the customers want to know, am I getting a better rate than what I had? Am I going to be able to save money forward? What I tell customers, and it depends on what they're looking at, I kind of draw it out of them, but I tell them I'm either giving them budget protection or pricing protection or both. Corporations, they love to know what numbers they're paying every month. They would like to know, what's going to happen moving forward with their budgets and stuff like that. So I say budget protection to them. Some of them have had they got a rate and it was a 6-month introductory or a 1-year introductory, and it went to another rate. I talk to them and I say I have price protection for the next 36 months, 48 months, 53, 60, whatever it is, okay? So what we're going up against right here on the 114,000 kilowatts, almost 115, we're going up against a 5399. See that right here? 0.05399. So you're talking about 5 cents, 3 cents a kilowatt, right? Almost 5.4. It's 5.4. It's 5.4. So let's do that. Now I know in Ohio, Freepoint, AEP, and this is good because both of these two matrices we're going to be going into are completely different, and you're going to see here why it gets a little crazy. Okay, so I'm going to start with Freepoint. Now, why am I going to start with Freepoint? Freepoint's the hardest matrix to filter. Of all the matrices in the entire country, this is the hardest, okay? But once you learn on how to do it, it's easy. As a matter of fact, I didn't know how to do this when I got here for like the first 4 or 5 months, and I just acted like, this is what everybody did. They would scroll down to Ohio, then they would scroll down to the dates, and I was wasting time and didn't know it until some guy in Columbus at one of our meetings went in and showed me how to filter it because I'm not good with Excel spreadsheets, right? Most of these are Excel spreadsheets. So at the bottom of every email, not all of them, but most of them, they're going to have a couple different types of PDFs. Here's the Ohio contract for Freepoint. Here's the PA, which is telling you that right now Freepoint on these graphs are only in Ohio and Pennsylvania. That's it, okay? So there's a Freepoint, what they call matrix raw adjusted. There's a CSV you can filter, or a Excel. Excel is my favorite, okay? Let me do that with you right now. So you can't just click on them and open them, okay, like this. And you can if you want to scroll all the way down and try to find your pricing. As you're seeing, it could be hundreds or thousands of raw rates every day. Look at this. I'm at 1,000 already. Where are we at here? Is it loading? So there's 1,234 prices that change every day in all these territories. That's just Pennsylvania and Ohio, okay? Now you kind of see why I download it. So I'm going to download this. Let me go back. I'm going to show you how to download it. I download matrices all day long. Once I download them, I go back to my download section and I just open them up, right? So I'm going to open that up. Now we're activating the free point of matrice to get the pricing for that utility over there, okay? Enable editing. Now watch this. This is only, mostly with just free point. There might be a couple others you have to do it this way. There's no filters. There's no drop-down buttons, right? How do we get the drop-down buttons into each of these so that we can filter all the way down to one price, okay? Or one market, let's put it that way. So you have to get into the top bar, click on 10, click on data, and then the filter button pops up. Did you see that? Go to filter. Now there's your drop-down box or buttons to filter. So I'm going to do Ohio. I clear the drop-down to Ohio. Start date has become 5/1. That's the earliest. If you notice, that's the earliest they will write a contract right now, not 4/1. So we're going to have to jump to 5/1. That happens at the 16th of every month. The matrices will jump from like 4/1 to 5/1. That's just the way they do. They write future and forward contracts, okay? I clear it. You can see it's all the way out to 2022, and I go to the earliest month, which is May. Okay, now you see it's getting filtered. Look, I'm already down to a very small group, right? And what do we have on our slide? We have an AEP customer that's a 0014. Remember we went over this? A 0014 is what? AEP OP, Ohio Power, right? Let me go in there, find AEP OP. So you have it right here. You have Ohio Power, or you have Columbus Southern. If it was 0004, it'd be Columbus Southern. If it was 0014, it's Ohio Power. Watch this. Go to Ohio Power. Now we're down to what? We're down to the class, which you can see it's all GS, so that doesn't matter. We're down to the kilowatts. So a lot of the suppliers use megawatts. So this is really 0 to 100,000, 100,000 to 250,000, 250 to 500,000. FreePoint is one of the few suppliers that stops at 500,000. Everything after that is custom quote, okay? So if you have a 600, 700,000 kilowatt account, you can custom quote it with FreePoint and send it back to what we're going to talk about, later today. Or you can go out and use Direct Energy, the big guys. They will do everything up to 1 million kilowatts, okay? And I'll show you that here in just a second. Now, you have a 6-month bucket, a 12-month bucket, an 18-month, a 24-month. I don't do any of these, ever. Our company right now is averaging 39 months of sale of a company out of 35,000 customers, okay? 75,000 buildings. So that's a big deal. We do a lot of 36s, 48s, 50s, and so on. The only time I do less than this is if a customer is selling their business and they know they're going to sell it, right? Or they're retiring and they're going to shut it down. That's it. If the customer tells you, I only do this and this and that, I stop, and this is what Chris talked about on the phone. We become consultants. Overnight, we start to ask them, where did you get that from? Why do you believe it's better to do a 1 month or 12 months or an 18 month when we're at an all-time low? Right now we're at a 14, 15-year low. When do you think the rates are going to go up? You think it's going to last a year? If you knew for sure the rates were going to be at an all-time low for a year, then it's okay to sign a 12-month, but we know they're not. So let's get you in something and secure this low rate for the next 36, 48, 60 months. Why wouldn't you do that? If I told you right now that when you bought your house, this was the best time to buy it, would you want it for just 1 year, that interest rate? No, you would want it for all 30 years, right? So that's exactly the same mentality. Do not let a customer tell you how to price them because of the way they feel. They're making a mistake. So what I do is I come back and I say, customer, I'll say Joe or whoever, I'll say, my responsibility as a consultant is to go talk to these suppliers and find out what is best for you. Not for me, not for Navigate Power, what is best for you. That's my response. I represent you when I speak to all these suppliers. It's wonderful, guys. It takes the pressure off of them and off of myself. So we got 114,000 kilowatts. So let's find the bucket that falls into. So 0 to 100,000? No, it doesn't fall into 0 to 100,000. It falls into 100 to 250, right? So I click this and look at this. I'm down to one line from over, what, 2,000? I write 36 months. I'm at a 4,389. Let's go back to the price. They are at a 5,399. That's a penny plus. Okay, so let's just start doing some math because this is critical, guys. The energy industry is basic math on steroids. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you. There's a lot of math to it. You need to learn it. You need to learn how to do multiplication. You need to know how to do division, okay? You need to do subtraction. We're going to do a little subtraction right now, okay? So if their rate is a 0.05399, we're going to minus the raw rate, which was 0.4. Now, there's no commissions on this, so you know that. 0.04389, right? 0.04389, right? So you're talking, that's a penny. This is the penny slot. Plus this is one 1,000th of a mil. There's the hundredths of a mil. Oh, there's a mil, then this is the hundredth of a mil. So really it's just 10. Let's just go and round it off to 10 mils or a penny, right? So you can take savings to this customer. If you find out that, and this is entirely up to you guys, I'm just telling you what standards are, but you know, if the customer is just happy, just saving money the next 3 years, and they just want to drop 2 mils, do it. Make 8 mils on the deal. If you want to split the mils with them, so if you split 10 mils, it'd be 5 mils, right? So that's entirely up to you because you're only going to get half of whatever you put on there. Remember that, right? So let's talk about that here for a second. Hold on. So let's move this out of the way. The customer's at a 533, right? You have 10 mils on there. Let's say we want to save the customer, hold on one second, let me get back to the bid. It is. Okay. So they're at 114, almost 115. They'll be at 115,000 kilowatts by the end of the year. They always go up, right? People always use more energy for some reason. That's just the national averages. So if they're at this 5,399, the 5,399 here, then let's just reduce it down to, let's drop it right below 5 into the 4s. Let's do a 0499, okay? And the 0499 looks really good to the customer. They got me below my 5s. They put me into the 4s, and we have a lot of room to play with then, right? So let's just write a 499 and drop these guys, which would be what's called almost 4 mils, right? And let's do some math on that. Watch this now. Please watch how this works, okay? Don't get freaked out. It's being recorded, right? So 0.05399 is what the customer's paying, right? Minus 0.0499, which is the new rate. That's the rate that will be on the contract, okay? So we're reducing that customer 4 mils, okay? 0.00409 mils. Well, what does that mean in dollars? What does that mean in dollars? So let's multiply this times 114. I'm just going to do 115,000, make it easy, okay? 115,000 equals, so that customer is saving $470.35 a year, but it's on a 3-year contract, right? Times 3, $1,411. The customer is going to love that price. You drop them down into the 4s, okay? You're saving them money, and it's secured for the next 36 months, right? So obviously I'm going to be talking about how to do contracts, I believe in the next hour. Or is it next, I think? Yeah. And you'll be able to see I would take that price to $499, put the customer's information in, and voila, it's all done. I could send it to them e-sign, they sign it, and it's game over, right? So let's see how much you make on this. How do you know how much you as the consultant makes on a deal like this, right? So the price is $499. That's what you have to go off of, is the current price you're charging them from the raw rate that you have. So let's clear that out. So we're charging that customer a 0.0499 new rate minus the raw rate price of $4,389. Can you guys see that okay? Hold on, let me make this one a little bit bigger. There. So the 36-month raw rate that we have is $4,389. So watch this. We come back over here, 0.04389 equals, that is your commission, 6 mils, okay? Now watch how this works. But you're at 50% with the company, right? FreePoint, this is getting crazy now. This is where it's math on steroids. FreePoint pays 50% of the contract up front, okay? They pay 50 of the entire 36 months up front, right? So let's do a little math. 601 is the commission to you and to Navigate Power. Now watch how that works. You have to multiply that times 115,000, right? Equals $691, but it's a 3-year contract. Times 3 equals $2,073 on just 115,000 kilowatts, everybody. That's like a pizza place. Okay, that's not a big place at all. A gas station is $300,000-400,000, to give you an example, that has the service center and all that, right? But watch what happens here. If you're at 50% of the contract, it's times 50%. Equals, you make $1,036 on that one small account. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. There's a few people I know that close nail salons, barber shops. They're nowhere near 100,000 kilowatts a year. And they're making a very nice income here. They're closing 4 or 5 a week in their sleep, okay? That's on the, I call the small end of commercial. That's the small commercial, right? 100,000 small commercial. Medium-sized commercial is when you're getting up around 400,000 or 500,000, right? Large commercial is a few million. Then you have industrial, which is, could be 2, 3, 4, 5 million kilowatts a pop, right? A year. So this is a very simple graph on what you would make. That's the entire payout for all 3 years. Half of that is what gets paid up front, and the rest gets paid residually, okay? What's really cool, guys, what if this was a forward date? Let's say it started in December. If this contract starts in December, you're still getting paid within 60 days on this, even though it's a future contract. And once the contract starts and it goes on flow, you'll be paid the residual. If it starts now, you're paid in 60 days, and it's already on flow, you're already going to make the residual. So you're almost getting, the entire contract's commission paid to you within a year and a half. So I love that. It's pretty cool. It's nice to get paid up front, guys, but it's really nice to know every month. I told you that you have, 70, 80, 90, 100 some customers drawing residuals, paying you, anywhere from 8 to 20 grand a month. All right. So in your sleep too. It's very secure. So that's how that one matrix works with pricing that one bill. Now let's go to AEP. Okay. Check it out. These guys had a 4,389. AEP and FreePoint have been battling a little bit in pricing. There's a couple others in there too. So now I'm gonna go back to my email. You can see I put everything into my pricing section, right? So here's AEP gas and here's AEP energy. Watch the difference of this matrix, okay? This matrix is completely different than, it's actually real simple. I wish they were all like this. That's all it is right there. All you're doing is submitting information. Check this out. Always enable it, right? I want a fixed price, all inclusive. Everything is fixed price we do, almost everything, unless it's a large account or a larger account, or we're going up against somebody in competition. The state, Ohio, nice and simple. The utility, it was AEP Ohio Power. There it is. Look at that. What was the rate class? It's going to be obviously just a GS. That was let's go back and find out. Hold on. Let's find out what it is. It's a medium general service, so that's a GS2. Medium is in the middle, right? Look, medium is in the middle, GS2. Now there's the pricing. If you look here, you can actually see the rate codes. If you want to go back and get real detailed, there's the 840 tariff, or we call it the rate code, and 840 is right there. Right there is 840. See that? So it was at April. Let's go back to this one's starting still in April, but let's go to May, so we can keep the price compared to the other one. It was not 0 to 100,000. It was over 100,000. All right, boom, a 4579. Now, why would I pick AEP over FreePoint? There's no reason. AEP pays only 1 year up front, okay? It doesn't have a better price, and I make more money with the other deal. All right, they had a 4389, remember? So that's the price I chose. You know, you want to find those customers that, or those suppliers that have the best rates, but also pay well. You know, direct energy, they pay 75% up front. Think about that, huh? And NG pays 3 years up front. Those are kind of the big guys on the block. You know, companies like Constellation, Entrust, they're all 1 year. They all are 1 year. There's a lot of 1 year upfront companies, okay? So you know that. And remember this put this as kind of a mental note. Anytime a company pays up front, they're adding a little bit more in the mills, okay? If you get into a fight with somebody, now when I mean a fight, you're going up against other reps, right? I mean, you do know that just because we have contracts with these suppliers, one of their field reps could be in that door competing against you. You do realize that, right? So we represent all these companies, but, you know, Direct Energy has their field team, or they don't now, but it could be someone like Constellation, someone like Infinite, someone like Santana, and they have their rep in there. And, you know, the market's kind of moving towards brokerages like us because we do a better job and we have a better warm market. But there are some companies like in Ohio, man, our big competitor is IGS. We can't sell any IGS energy in the state, but as soon as you step outside of Ohio, we can sell IGS energy. They come after Ohio like crazy with their sales force, right? And you might be going up against them. So you would probably pick a residual. We can actually on a big account, we can call the person that is the lead for Navigate Power and say, hey, there's Elliot at FreePoint. You know, there's the lady Marguerite I just talked to at APG&E yesterday. Hey, Marguerite, can we not get paid up front? Can we just do an actual, just give us the rate that we would have if it was residual? And then you might lose a $500,000, right? And by losing that $500,000, then you would be able to lose the $500,000, and you would be able to get the contract and win the deal. When you're dealing with 3 or 4 or 5 other entities that are going up against you, every quarter, every $500,000 counts if you want to win the deal. You're not going to make as much on it because the competition's there. So that's why I'm very vocal. I'm very vocal with my customers, and I say, listen, am I going up against somebody? Are you going to shop my rates? I ask them straight up because I don't have time to play around with people playing games with my rates, okay? And they do it. I go, I see you have XYZ supplier on there. Are they your incumbent? And you guys all know, especially in the boxing world, the only way to beat the champion or the incumbent is to knock them out. So you got to get skinny on some pricing. And that's all strategy that I will work with you on every deal. Doesn't matter which one it is, okay? Which I love. So let's move to some more matrices here. That's AEP. Another one of my favorites that I like is NG. I'll give you NG, and you're going to see how robust NG is, okay? NG's a beast. They're the largest energy supplier in the world. They dwarf mostly everybody else. In America, it's Direct, it's NRG. There's a couple big ones like that. There's NG's. Here we go. NG has this one's going to take some time. They're so big with so much pricing, they do each state individually. They put the contracts up here in Word, and they put all the pricing down here in Excel. Here's Ohio, right? PA, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Texas, training, Connecticut, you know, here's Illinois, which is Ameren, right? Different matrices. So as soon as this loads, you can see it still hasn't loaded yet. My security is going, what the heck kind of a file is this? I'm going to bring in Ohio. Let's get through this. We're still shopping at 5399, remember? Enable editing. This is a, look at, they even have more buckets. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as opposed to 4 or 3. It's just monstrous. And I don't know how much do we have here. Let me see. Let me see how much pricing we have. Hold on. Oh my gosh. There is 5,000. Hold on. Where did we get to the end here? Hold on 1 second here. 6,000? No. There's 5,891 raw rates for every single market they're in, okay? And this is Ohio. This is just Ohio. Remember that. So let's start doing the math. May of 2020. We're going to go to 2020. Right here is August. This is a little bit weirder. See how I have to scroll down and find it? There's May. Ohio, obviously, is everybody. The whole thing is Ohio. The utility was AEP OP, right? Ohio Power. They actually put the AEP in the front on these. Hang in there. Going to do a little cough. Sorry about that. All right, now they really get descriptive on the rate codes or tariffs. We know that that was an 840. There's the 840 right here. GS2, remember general secondary? Now look what we're down to. Look at how big NG is. NG goes up to 1 million kilowatts, and they go up to 60 months in contracts, right? So you knew that you had 115,000 kilowatts. You are in the second bucket. This is their pricing. If you're at 36 months, which we were looking, look at how high they are, 4,797. That, you know, Freepoint was at a 4.3. Just because they're big doesn't mean they have the best pricing. And just because the pricing is high in AEP's market, OP, it might be good in Columbus Southern or up here at First Energy or down in Duke, right? So that's why we do the research, all right? Once you get the hang of this, you're gonna know right down every day to the top 2, the best gas and the best electric customer or supplier that you need to price every day, right? And what I do is if I'm out banging doors and working with you guys in the field, I'm writing down a cheat sheet because you're going to have that customer, that one customer that says to you, if you walk in my door and you tell me I have to sign today to get this price, I'm going to kick you out, okay? Or if you tell me that the prices change every day, because they don't understand how the commodities market works. It just shows ignorance, okay? So the way to beat them is just come right at them with a price, right? What is your price today? What price is on your contract? I don't want to hear that. What is your price today? I'll look at my raw rate and I'll say, you know, let's say this was that 4,389 I knew from Freepoint. I'll say my raw rate is a 4,999. What's on your contract? And I'll have them beat because I know no one's down below the 4.9s for 115,000 kilowatt. This all just happened recently, okay? So it's pretty cool. So I'm ready. I always answer a question to a customer immediately. One thing I've learned in sales since I've been doing sales almost all my life is never hesitate. If you hesitate, you lose the deal because they know you're thinking about getting around it, using a sales pitch, or you're lying, right? So always be ready to answer a customer right away, okay? I'm telling you, you'll do much better, you know, and it'll make you feel more confident too in having posture. So this is NG. Let's go to another one. Let me not save that. Back to pricing. All right, let's get one that's kind of crazy. Entrust is crazy, all right? Let's get to their Excel spreadsheet here. I don't even know if they're in my market here. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. They jump up. They're mostly, I think they're a lot of East Coast. So if you look at this, hold on, was this the Texas one? No, we're good, okay. Enable editing. Down below, there's bars by markets. See that? Ohio, Dayton, It's really crazy how this thing works. There's ComEd, there's Illinois, there's Duke, there's Dayton. Hang in there one second. Let me see what else is on here. There's different sheets. No. So here's ComEd. ComEd would be up in, obviously in Illinois. Let me go back to, let me do DP&L. Yeah, there we go. All right, hold on. There's AEP. Okay, couldn't slide it over. All right, so on this one, it's going by bucket, by size. These guys go 5,000 to 25,000. Look at that, 5,000 to 25,000. You know, using their GS2s and stuff like that. The start month is here. Very confusing, right? There's no filtering these, just to let you guys know. So if you have to, you may want, if they have it in your hole, let me try something here. Instead of scrolling down, you might have to use the CSV, which might be easier for you when you get to some of those like that where you got to scroll down and try to find pricing, okay? Yeah. So same thing here. You can run a filter, data, filter, and you can start with these drop-down boxes. See that, what I did? Let's go April. Let's go May. I'm sorry. All right. AEP, Ohio Power, Ohio. I think Ohio, this was all Ohio anyways, right? Yeah. GS2, we know that. All right. And we are at 100,000 to 300,000. This will separate everything. Look, 12, 24, 36, 48 month contracts. Be very careful. Be very careful. There are companies that will put on there, it'll say like Entrust Energy Commercial Matrix Index. Index of variables, okay? You don't want to get caught putting somebody in a variable. Or they'll have the price here at a 462. What is the 36? A 462? And you're like, ooh, I love that 342. Well, that is a cap capacity pass-through. That would be a second line. It'll be pretty much around the same rate, but it'll be a second line where it's passing through capacity. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'll have Brian or Alex Tellerico explain, have a training just on the parts of energy and what each side pays for, okay? But that's how this filter works. I'm just showing you guys different ways to get all these different suppliers involved. One of the new ones, actually this company bought Creus. They're called Vistra. Did they come through yet? They did not come through yet. Hold on, let me check my inbox. Nope, they did not come through yet. I do not see them here. Green Mountain Entrust. They did not come through. Okay, let's go to the other big guy in the block, Direct Energy. So be careful. There's Texas. Texas is all by itself because it's like a country in its own. So Direct Energy is 75% upfront of the entire contract, and it's another monster. Okay, but a pretty simple, what do you call it though? Filter. Hold on one second here. Somebody's sending me a message. Let me see what's up. Chats. Okay, thanks, Todd. Gotcha. All right. Enable editing, right? You notice I opened it and downloaded, enabled editing. It'll bounce around a bit. Let's go back to May when that start date was. You see this one goes way out to, this one's going February of 2022, okay? So 2020, we're going to go to May. We're going to pick, here's all the states. Look at all the states these guys are in. Look at this. Look at that. It's awesome. I love it. Good company, just their rates are good sometimes. Like we used them for almost a year, and then they changed our market. You know, they're great in PA. They're great. Anything over 1 million kilowatts or 800,000 kilowatts, they're going to eat everybody up pretty bad. Okay, so there's that. I got Ohio, right? I picked Ohio. All right, what is my utility? On this one, it's OPC. It's Ohio Power Company instead of AEPOP. So you need to just learn, you know, there is CEI. It's, you know, the CEI here. You have Ohio Edison. You have Toledo Edison, all owned by First Energy, okay? Ohio Power, there's Columbus Southern, the CS. OEDP&L is Dayton Power and Light, and CGE is, that's Duke. That's the company that owns Duke. I know, very confusing on some of these. So let's clear it up. Let's go to the rate code. Remember, the rate code was an 840, right? So you could just, all you have to do is slide across. Watch this. There is 840 right there. See that? So it would be the first block. Now, here's where it gets confusing because a lot of states do dual billing. We don't do dual billing in our state, and we don't like it. And it'll actually tell you by state as you pick it, right? So what we do is pick XBR, which is everything included, okay? That's all that is. Now watch this. We just went from, like, I don't know how much it was, 33,000 prices to a 6, 12, 18, 24. What is their last rate? 54. So let's go to the top, and let's pick the ones we want. Let's pick the ones we want. Let's go 58, 54, 48, 42, 36, okay? And that's where we're at right there. So their rate, and look at 3 buckets. All they got is 3 buckets. They made it really difficult lately on the industry by moving 5 to 3, especially with coding and stuff like that. So their bucket, MWHs, so it's 0 to 49,000, 50,000 to 299,000, 300,000 to 1,099,000, okay? So our bucket's here. And at 36, it's a 4595, where the 3-point is still a 4389. It beats it, right? The difference is you can get all, 75% up front here. If you pick a 4-year here, a 48, and it's a 4613, it's kind of close. It's still 3 mils higher. But if you pick a 4-year contract with that customer, you're going to get paid 3 of those 4 years up front because it's 75% of the contract, right? That could be pretty substantial if you're looking to make a big chunk of change and pay some bills, in the next 60 days. So that's the direct energy one. It's pretty cool. That's direct energy. Big guys on the block. Let me see here. There it is. You're right. Thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate it. So here's Vistra. Vistra is another monster. They just bought a bunch of companies. They're out of Texas, I believe, doing their thing. But their matrices is cool. It's unique. It looks confusing, but it's one of those ones we like that we can do. Just input the customer's name, simple drop down box to market. Hold on, did I download this? Not. Guess I did not. There we go. Excuse me. All right, there we go. Enable editing. Oh, if you have other Excel spreadsheets up too, a lot of stuff won't work. You got to make sure you knock yourself down depending on what program you have, okay? That sometimes it won't do anything and you'll be like, it won't do anything. But look at these guys also in mega states. See that? Ohio. You could pick electricity or gas, which is really nice. And then you can do, ours was 100,000 to 500,000, right? And there's May. So the price, look at how high these guys are. Ridiculous. 6, 7, we're in the 4s. No way. That's our market. They're just not good in this market at all. All right. Where are we at here? 143? All right, let's get some gas done, okay? Let's do some natural gas. Let's go find a natural gas client here. Let me clear this real quick. Let's do, I'm going to do CCFs here. Hold on 1 second. That would be Columbia Gas of Ohio. This is a good one. This one we're going to be working on is 9,816 CCFs, okay? The rate we're going up against will be a 579. We're going to kill that, all right? This is IGS Energy, so let's get to work on this. I keep forgetting where I'm at. Pricing. So my favorite in Ohio, obviously, is Santana. I'm going to go to them first. 50% up front. You have to be very careful when you're using Santana. Santana has 4 markets here. Consumers and DTE, that's Michigan. Duke and Dominion's Ohio. Now, you don't see Columbia Gas of Ohio or Vectron on there. But Dominion and Duke, when you decide what your raw rate is, if you're in the Dominion territory like where I'm at, it's got to end in a 9.0, $3.49, $3.79. Okay, it's got to end in a 9. That's just how the way they code it. It's better for their CPA. So if you draw a raw rate of let's say you're drawing a raw rate of a 295 or something, well, you can do a 309, a 310, a 319. That's what they want on the contract. Okay, so we can't tweak it down to the penny, but we can tweak it down to what these 10 and 9 cent increments are. And I'll show you what I mean by when I open this up. Okay, so Santana does electric and gas in Ohio. Okay, watch what we have here. Commercial gas upfront index. What is index? It's a variable. Do not want that. Commercial gas upfront fixed. This is where we're at. So let's go to fixed. These are electric. Download it. Beautiful. Everything's loading nice and quick today. Enable editing. And these are real simple. They have their drop-down mechanisms here, right? So we start 5-1. Let's start at 5-1. We can only go out a year with gas, okay, most companies, unless you're custom quoting. We're going to pick Ohio. Santana's only in these 4 states right now. All right, and look at that. I'm already down to this, and we were Columbia, right? We're at Columbia, COH, Columbia Gas of Ohio, and we want a 36. Let's get a 36 in here. Boom. So we were at 9,816. Wasn't that true? I think that was true. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buckets, right? It goes from 0 to 60,000. Anything over 60,000 CCFs has to be custom quoted, which we're going to talk about next, I think, or no, after contracts. Anything over 6,000 MCFs, custom quoted. It's the same exact calculation, right? So 9,800, we get a 0.36 cents, 0.3601 as our raw rate going up against this is ridiculous, a 579, okay? So we're going to save this customer a lot of money compared to what we're going to make on them because they've been gouged, all right? So let's do a little bit of math on that. It's a 3601 calculator. You're going to be putting a whole dime on this, okay? Let me see here, wait a second. Yes. So we're going to be, we're only allowed to put on, let me get back to that matrix, hold on. We're only allowed to make this a 4601, okay? It's still pretty nice. That's a lot for commission. We can't put 20 cents on it. The only one that will do that is NG. NG is the only one that allow us to make this instead of a 3.6, make it a 5.6, okay? 56 cents, which is 20 cents. So we're only allowed to put 10 on with Santana. And I'm going to show you what that means here on the calculator, okay? So the customer is, let me see here, hold on. They are at a 579. 0.579 minus, okay, remember what we were going to charge them? What were we going to charge them? We're putting 10 cents on, right? That'd be a 4601 minus 0.4601 equals. So they're going to save 11 cents, almost 12 cents per CCF. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it can get up there, right? And it was 9,816 times 9,816 equals $1,167, guys, a year times 3. This is what the customer, $3,500. That's for a company doing 9,800 CCFs. That's pretty incredible. And you can do some crazy stuff. You can divide it by 36 on a 3-year. You know, they're going to save $97 a month. That's pretty doggone good for a small business, okay? But let's see what you make on that, all right? Let's see what you make on that because it's only 10 cents. It's not 12 cents. So let's do the math on that. Let's clear everything. Let's do the 9,816 times 0.10, okay? $981 times 3. $29.44. So if this customer, like we do in Ohio, if this customer, because this would be about the same size as the electric bill that we had, if this, you got both bills on this customer, you're doing pretty well. You're having a good, you're having a $2,000-$3,000 day, okay? And that's what I'm trying to show you guys, the power of being able to price stuff yourselves, get payments up front, and establish the long-term residual. So this is everything being paid out to you and the company. So that would be times 50%, because you're at, most people are at 50%, okay, equals 1472. So you got 1472 on this, and I think 1,000 something on the other. That's a $2,400 day, one customer, okay? This is the power of energy. And this is why we're not fretting, we're not worrying, because, God forbid anybody closes their doors. There's going to be a lot, right? There's still another 100,000 people in your 5 to 20 mile radius, okay? Everyone's burning it, right? So it's wonderful. That's pretty cool how that works on that commission structure. And Santana pays 50% of that up front, okay? Pretty nice. That's gas. Where are we at here? 151. All right. Do not save. I'm going to go back to one other monster, which is I'm going to go back to NG Gas. They're another big guy on the block. Here's their matrix. Same thing. Let me get through. NG is it's probably the hardest gas matrix to do. And I'll show you why. Yes, it has a simple filter, but they want you to start using what they burn per month, okay, and on the input. We're going to do all that. So let me enable this. By the way, these guys pay 3 years up front. They're like I said, they're the beast in the room. So we're doing COH, which is Columbia Gas of Ohio, CCS. If you remember what it was 99816. But look what they ask you here. Max monthly usage. So we got to go back to the bill, okay? The bill, I lost it already. Let me go back in there. It's not the max average. It's the biggest month. The biggest month is 1,616 CCFs. Let me put that in. 1616. Enter, and there's your pricing. This thing even does load factor and tells you the load shape, right? This is some pretty cool stuff. So your term, 48 months of 366. I would do NGL day on this. Look at this, 362. This is a killer because you're getting paid 3 years up front, right? This one would make you a lot more income up front. So pretty neat. If you have multiple meters, let's say you have 4, you can bring that down over here. As soon as you come over here and click on multiple meters, you click yes, that goes to nothing. These go to 0, and you can start putting the 2 in here. 9816. Okay, what was the monthly? Was 1616. And it's starting to price it, and it does the average of all 4 and puts the price in here for you. Pretty amazing. NG's, like I said, NG does some things that nobody else in the industry does. If you guys want to know how big they are, and I think a lot of you have heard me say this, but NG is so big, they signed a 50-year contract with Ohio State University. They not only do their energy, they do everything for them when it has to do with sustainability, solar, HVAC, lighting, on and on, cogen, everything. So I'm going to stop with that, guys. Let me cut to some Q&A here. Hold on. Let me stop this cloud. Stop recording.